Hi everyone, today I'll solve the questions in the past paper IGCSE Mathematics 0580 in October, November 2023, and this is question paper 42. Question 1. Given the triangle T, A. Translate triangle T by the vector -7, 1. Label the image K. X is -7, which means we move to the left 7 units. And then we move, 1 means we move up 1 unit. So let's start from this point. We move to the left 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go. And then we move up 1 unit. So the image of that point should be here. Similarly, we also translate the other point. For example, this blue point. We move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Then we move up 1 unit. So the image is here. And after you have the two points of the image, you can draw the answer. The answer of the first question is this, and we need to label the image K. Second question, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle K onto T. So from K to T, we need to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units to the right and 1 unit down. 7 units to the right means X is 7 and 1 unit down, which means Y is -1. So we say that the transformation is translation by the vector 7, -1. Translation by the vector 7, -1. B. Reflect triangle T in the line y equals 4. So let's draw the line y equals 4. Y equals 4 is the blue line. Now let's remove these. And to reflect the triangle T, we can check. This is 1, 2 units, so we continue to move up 1, 2 units, and the image will be here. So let's remove these lines. Similarly, this point is on the line y equals 4, so its image is also on this line. And we can draw the image like this. So this is the question B. We reflect the triangle T in the line y equals 4. This is the line y equals 4. C. Rotate triangle T through 90 degrees clockwise about the center 0, 0. So let's plot the point 0, 0, and we rotate the triangle T 90 degrees clockwise. First, I'll join the center with this red point together, and then I will rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So the image of the red point is here. Next, let's check the blue point. I also need to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. 90 degrees clockwise. 6, 4. Here we go. So the image of the blue point is here. And finally, let's join this point and this. So we also rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Then the image is here. So this is the green point. And then we will join these points together. So the answer is this. This is the answer for question C. D. Enlarge triangle T by scale factor -1/2, center 0, 0, label the image P. So if the scale factor for this question equals -1/2, and this means the image is 1/2 of the origin, and the image and the original shape are in the opposite directions, because it is a negative number. If the scale factor is negative, then they are in opposite directions. So the center is also 0, 0. Then let's use a black line. So we also start from the center. This one, 0, 0. And we see that from the center to the red point, it is 2 units. So the image is only 1 unit in the opposite direction. So the first image of the red point is here. Next, from the center to the blue point is 6 units. So we go in the opposite directions, only 3 units. Then the image is here. This is the image of the blue point. And finally, from the center to this right angle is 6 units. So we also have it. Then it is only 3 units. Here we go. So these 3 will be the image. Then we join them together. So this one is question D1. And then second question, describe only the single transformation that maps the triangle P onto triangle T. So we need to name this triangle P. And now we find the transformation that maps triangle P onto triangle T. Obviously, it is also an enlargement. First, it is enlargement. And to describe the enlargement, you need the center. And you also need the scale factor. In this case, the center is still 0, 0, the origin. And the scale factor in this case, T is the image and P is the original shape. You see that T is twice of P. If the image T is twice of the origin. And they are also in opposite directions. If they are in opposite directions, then we say that the scale factor is -2. So for question D2, we say that the transformation is enlargement. Center is still the origin, 0, 0. And scale factor is -2. So that's it for question 1. Question 2, A. Daisy records her 50 homework marks. The table shows the results. The first row shows the homework mark, and the second row shows the frequency. 1. Write down the range. You know the range is equal to the maximum, the greatest value minus the smallest value. In this case, the greatest value is 20 and the smallest value is 15. So 20 minus 15 equals 5. Second, Question, write down the mode. In this case, we see that the number 17 has the highest frequency. So 17 is the mode. Number 3, find the median. Median. In this case, you see that n is equal to 50. And to find the position of the median, we use the formula n plus 1 over 2, which means 50 plus 1 over 2 equals 51 divided by 2 is 25.5. And this means the median is the average of the 25th and the 26th value. So let's add up them together. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 19 is 23. 23 means at 11, which means the 25th and the 26th value are 18. So the 25th value is 18 and the 26th value is also 18. So the median is 18. The fourth question, calculate the mean. To find the mean, we just multiply the homework mark and the corresponding frequency. 15 times 1, 16 times 3, 17 times 19, 18 times 11, 19 times 10, and 20 times 6. Finally, we divide this by the n. N is 50. So the answer for this is 17.88. B. The list shows X scores in 11 tests. 1. Complete the stem and leaf diagram to show this information. You see that 2, 5 means 25. So for the first row, this is 1, which means the 10th digit is 1. So we check which number has a 10th digit of 1. It is 18. So I'll write 8 as the unit digit. Now, for the numbers that has the 10th digit of 2, they are 21, 20, 25, 21, 22, 21, and 20. There are 7 numbers and we need to arrange them from the smallest, 20, 20 to the largest. And then we have 3 numbers, 21, and then 22, 25. So we have 7 numbers. That's correct. Next, for the numbers that has the 10th digit of 3, they are 33, 34, and 30. So we arrange them from smallest to greatest, 30, 33, and 34. Second question, find the median. In this case, we see that there are 11 tests, which means n is 11. Then to find the position of the median, we use the formula n plus 1 over 2, which means 11 plus 1 over 2 equals the 6th value. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th value is 21. So the median is 21. Number 3, find the interquartile range. Now we need to arrange them from the smallest, 18, 20, 20, 3 numbers, 21, and then 22, 25, 30, 33, and 34. From the second question, we know that the median is 21, the 6th value 21 here. So to find the interquartile range, you will need to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile. For the lower quartile, we need to check this set. There are 5 numbers, so the middle value is the 3rd, which means Q1, the lower quartile, is 20. And for the rest of the set, there are also 5 numbers, so the middle value is 30, which means the upper quartile is 30. And then To find the interquartile range is equal to Q3 minus Q1 equals 30 minus 20 equals 10. So the final answer is 10. Question 3. A. The value of Brian's car decreases by 10% every year. So this is exponential decay. The value today is $7,695. 1. Calculate the value of the car after 1 year. After 1 year, it decreased by 10%, which means 7,695 multiplied by 1 subtract 10%. Or you can say that you multiply 7,695 by, at the beginning it is 100% and now it decreased by 10%, so it is only 90% now. So the answer for this is $6,925.50. Second question, calculate the value of the car 1 year ago, which means 1 year before today. So if today is $7,695, then 1 year ago is how many dollars? And you know that 1 year ago should be 100% in this case. And after a decrease of 10%, then today's value is only 90%. So how do we find the value of the car 1 year ago? We will need to divide 7,695 by 90 to find the value of 1%. Then we multiply by 100 to find the value of 100%. So the answer is $8,550. B. Ali invests $600 at a rate of 2%. This is P, principal. 2% per year, simple interest. This is the interest rate. Calculate the value of Ali's investment at the end of 5 years. 5 years is the time. So before we find the total value, we need to find the interest. The formula for the interest in simple interest is PRT. P, principal, is $600. The interest rate is 2% and the time is 5 years. So the interest is $60. And to find the total of the investment, we need to add up the principal and the interest together. The principal is 600. The interest is 60, so the total value is $660. C. Sarah invests $500 at a rate of R% per year compound interest. At the end of 12 years, the value of Sarah's investment is $601.35. Correct to the nearest cent. Find the value of R. So in this case, $500 is the principal. R% is what we want to find. Compound interest, 12 years is the time. And this one is the total to the nearest cent. In compound interest, we know that the formula for the total is P multiplied by 1 plus R% to the power of T. In this case, the total is $601.35. Now we substitute the principal. 500 multiplied by 1 plus R% onto the power of 12. The time is 12 years. Is equal to $601.35. First, we need to divide both sides by 500. So this is 601.35 divided by 500. And then we need to remove the number 12 by taking the 12th root of both sides. 12th root of 601.35 over 500. Then we remove the number 1 by subtracting both sides by 1. We subtract 1 from both sides. And finally, R% means R over 100. So to find the value of R, we need to multiply both sides by 100. So 601.35 over 500 minus 1. Then we multiply by 100. So R is equal to 1.55. So 1.55 is the final answer. D. The mass of a radioactive substance decreases exponentially at a rate of 3% each day. 1. Find the overall percentage decrease at the end of 10 days. So, first of all, the amount of the radioactive after 10 days is Y, and it is equal to the original amount multiplied by 1 minus R%, because this is, we decrease exponentially in this case onto the power of t. So in this case, the original amount multiplied by 1 minus 3% onto the power of 10. And you know 1 minus 3% is 100% minus 3%, which is 97%. And 97% means 0.97 to the power of 10. And the percentage decrease is equal to difference over origin. The difference is the original amount subtract the new amount over the origin, which is A again. And we also multiply this by 100%. And we see that A is a common factor, so we can factorize it as A multiplied by 1 minus 0.97 to the power of 10 onto the all over A multiplied by 100%. Now we can cancel A and A, so the answer is 26.3%. Second question, find the number of whole days. Whole days. It takes until the mass of this substance is 1/2 of its original amount. From the previous question, you know that the amount of the substance is Y equals original amount multiplied by 1 minus R% onto the power of t. In this case, we want this amount to be 1/2 of the original amount. So let's substitute 1 minus R%, R is 3% in this case, onto the power of t to be less than 1/2 of A. Now we can cancel the original amount. So the equation is 1 minus 3% means 1 minus 0.03, which is 0.97 to the power of t, until it is 1/2. 1/2 means 0.5. And you can use your calculator to find the value of t until it is less than 1/2. So let's try this. 0.97 to the power of 10 is not 1/2. 11, no, 12, 13. If it is still too big, you can try some bigger value. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, and 23. So when t equals 23, we see that the value is less than 1/2 of its original amount. So we'll say that t is equal to 23. T is equal to 23. And this is the final answer. Question 4. A. The diagram shows a sector of a circle that is made into a cone by joining OA and OB. The sector angle is x and the radius of the sector is 7.5 centimeters. The base radius of the cone is 1.5 centimeters. Calculate the value of x. So when you use a sector of a circle and you make a cone, then you need to remember this property. The length of this arc is actually the circumference of the cone, the circumference of the base of the cone. So these two must be equal to each other. So the length of this arc is actually theta over 360 multiplied by the circumference, which is 2 pi the radius. And the circumference of this base is 2 pi r. In this case, we see that theta is actually x over 360 multiplied by 2 pi, the radius is 7.5. And for this one, the circumference is 2 pi, the radius is 1.5. So now we can cancel pi and pi, number 2 and number 2. So the equation is only x over 360 multiplied by 7.5 equals 1.5. And to find the value of x, we need to multiply 1.5 by 360. And then we divide both sides by 7.5. So the answer is 72 degrees. B. The diagram shows a cylinder with radius 8 centimeters. The radius of the cylinder is 8 centimeters. And a sphere with radius 17 centimeters. The radius of the sphere is 17 centimeters. Both ends of the cylinder touch the curved surface of the sphere. 1. Show that the height of the cylinder is 30 centimeters. The height of the cylinder is this one. We need to show that it is 30 centimeters. So, first of all, you see that this blue line is twice of 8. It is 2 times 8 equals 16. And this blue line is the diameter of the sphere. So it is twice of 17. So we say that this is twice of 17 equals 34. So you see that this one is a right angle triangle. So to find the green line, which is the height of the cylinder, then we need to use the Pythagoras theorem. Height squared equals 34 squared minus 16 squared. And then to find the height, we need to take the square root of this difference. So the answer is 30 centimeters. Second question, calculate the volume of the cylinder as the percentage of the volume of the sphere. Knowing that the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So first, let's talk about the volume of the cylinder. It is base area times the height. Base area times the height. Base area is the area of the circle, which is pi r squared times the height. The radius of the cylinder is 8. So it is pi 8 squared multiplied by the height. The height is 30. We just found it in the previous question. And now let's find the volume of the sphere. The volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. In this case, the radius of the sphere is 17 cubed. So now we find the percentage of the cylinder. The percentage of the cylinder as the percentage of the sphere. So this one is equal to pi 8 squared times 30 over 4/3 of pi 17 cubed. And we also multiply this by 100%. So this one is equal to 29.3%. C. The diagram shows a solid sphere with radius 6 centimeters. The radius is 6 centimeters inside a cube with side length 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters. The cube contains water to a depth of 15 centimeters. The sphere is removed. Calculate the new depth of the water in the cube, knowing that the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So first of all, we find the volume of the sphere, the total volume of the sphere, and the water, which means the current volume that we see. So it is equal to, it looks like a cuboid. So the volume is 20 times 20 times 15 equals 6,000 cubic centimeters. And then we know the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, which is 4/3 pi 6 cubed equals 288 pi centimeter cubed. So we can find the volume of the water by subtracting the volume of the sphere from the total volume. So this one is equal to 5,095 cubic centimeters. And you also know that the volume of the water is also a cuboid. So it is also equal to 20 times 20 times the depth of the water. And this one is equal to 5,095. So to find the depth of the water, we need to divide both sides by 20 times 20. So the answer is 12.7 centimeters. The final answer is 12.7 centimeters. Question 5. A. In a shop, the cost of a fiction book is X dollars, and the cost of a reference book is X plus $2. The cost of 11 fiction books is the same as the cost of 10 reference books. Find the value of X. So if the cost of one fiction book is X, then 11 fiction book is 11X. And it is the same as 10 reference book. Each reference book is X plus 2. So this is the equation we need to form. To solve this equation, we need to expand the brackets. 10 times X and 10 times 2. Now we need to subtract 10X from both sides. So 11X minus 10X is equal to 20. On the left hand side, we have X and the right hand side is 20. So X is equal to 20. Question B. In another shop, the cost of a fiction book is Y dollars, and the cost of a reference book is Y plus $2. Maria spends $95 on a fiction books and $147 on reference books. She buys a total of 12 books. Show that 6y squared minus 109y minus 95 equals 0. So in this case, You know that one fiction book is $Y dollars. So if you have $95, then you can buy how many fiction books? That would be the number of fiction book in that case is 95 times 1 divided by Y. This is the number of fiction book. And similarly, one reference book is equal to Y plus $2. So if you spend $147, then you can buy how many reference book? That would be 147 divided by Y plus 2. This is the number of reference books. And the total of fiction and reference books is 12. So now we need to solve this equation. First, we see that they have different denominators, so we need to find the common denominator. 95 multiplied by Y plus 2 plus 147 multiplied by Y. And now this is the common denominator. Equals 12. Then I also cross multiply these two. So I have 95 Y plus 2 plus 147Y equals 12. Y times Y plus 2. 95 times Y is 95Y. 95 times 2 is 190. Plus 147Y equals 12 multiplied by Y times Y is Y squared. And Y times 2 is 2Y. So we need to simplify the left-hand side. 95Y plus 147Y is equal to 242Y plus 190 is equal to 12Y squared plus 12 times 2Y is 24Y. So now I want to move 242Y and 190 to the right. So it is 12Y squared plus 24Y subtract 242Y subtract 190. So the equation becomes 12Y squared 24Y minus 240Y is equal to 218Y minus 190. Now we can simplify this by dividing both sides by 2. So it is 6Y squared minus 109Y minus 95 equals 0. So that's it for the first question. Now we need to factorize 6Y squared minus 109Y minus 95. To factorize this, we need to find two numbers that multiply to be the product of the first and the last term, which is negative 570. And these two numbers must add up to the middle coefficient, which is negative 109. You can use your calculator to help you with this. And those two numbers is negative 114 and 5. Their product is negative 570. And when you add up them, you will get negative 109. So the expression becomes 6Y squared. And instead of writing negative 109, I will write negative 114Y and 5Y minus 95. So for the first pair, the common factor is 6Y. Then we have Y minus 19 left. For the second pair, the common factor is 5. Then we have Y minus 19 left. Now the new common factor is Y minus 19. And we have 6Y plus 5 left. That's how we factorize it. And now we need to find the value of Y. To find the value of Y, we know that Y minus 19 and 6Y plus 5 is equal to 0. In this case, y minus 19 can be 0 or 6y plus 5 can be 0. But you know that y plus 2 is the cost of the book, so y should be a positive value. Then 6y plus 5 should also be a positive value. So we remove this case and we only keep the left. Y minus 19 equals 0, so y is equal to 19. So this one is the final answer. Y is 19. Question 6. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle. Find the value of W. First of all, this is a right-angled triangle, so we can apply the Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem says that t squared plus 5 squared equals 2t plus 3 squared. This is Pythagoras theorem. And then we rewrite this as 25 and we expand this brackets. This one is equal to 2t all squared plus 2 times 2t times 3 plus 3 squared. So this is t squared plus 25 plus equals 4t squared plus 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12t plus 9. Then we subtract t squared from both sides. So we only have 3t squared left plus 12t. Then we also subtract 25 from both sides. So 9 minus 25 is negative 16. And the left hand side is 0 now. So the equation is 3t squared plus 12t minus 6 equals 0. You can use the quadratic formula to solve this equation. The quadratic formula is t equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. In this case, negative b is negative 12 plus or minus 12 squared minus 4 times a is 3, and c is negative 6 over 2a means 2 times 3. So t can be negative 6 plus or minus 2 root 21 over 3. And you know that t is the length of one side of the triangle, so t should be positive. T should be positive, so we say that t is only negative 6 plus 2 root 21 over 3. And now we want to find the value of W. W is this angle. And look at this angle. You see that t is the opposite side and 5 is the adjacent. So we use TOE. TOE means tan W is equal to opposite over adjacent. Tan W is equal to opposite over adjacent. And t is negative 6 plus 2 root 21 over 3. Then we divide everything by 5. So this one is equal to negative 6 plus 2 root 21 over 3 times 5. So to find the value of W, we use the inverse of tan of this, negative 6 plus 2 root 21 over 15. So the answer for this is 11.9 degrees. 11.9. Question 7. A. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle PQR on horizontal ground. X is vertically above R, and the angle of elevation of X from P is 21 degrees. The angle of elevation from P, which means this angle, this red angle is 21 degrees. XR is 2.8 meters and RQ is 7.1 meters. 1. Calculate the angle of elevation of X from Q. The angle of X from Q, which means this blue angle. So look at the triangle XQR. In the triangle XQR, RQ is the adjacent and XR is the opposite. So we use toe, which means tan Q is equal to opposite XR over adjacent RQ, which is 2.8 over 7.1. So to find the angle Q, we find the inverse of tan, 2.8 over 7.1. So the answer is 21.5 degrees. Second question, calculate PQ. We know the length of RQ. So if we know the length of RP, then we can find the length of PQ using the Pythagoras theorem. So to find the length of RP, we look at the triangle PRX. In the triangle PRX, PR is the adjacent and 2.8 is still the opposite. So we also use toe for this. Tan of the angle P is equal to opposite XR over adjacent PR. Tan P is 21 degrees. Tan of 21 degrees is equal to XR is 2.8 and PR is what we want to find. So PR is equal to 2.8 divided by tan, 21 degrees. Then to find the length of PQ, we use Pythagoras theorem. PQ is equal to the square root of PR squared plus RQ squared equals the square root. PR is 2.8 over 10, 21 degrees squared plus RQ squared. RQ is 7.1 plus 7.1 squared. So this one is equal to 10.2 meters. Question B. Calculate the acute angle KML. KML is this red angle. In this question, we see some angles and the opposite side, so we use the sin rule. Sin M over the opposite side, 16.7, is equal to sin 32 degrees over the opposite side, which is 9.1. So to find sin M, we multiply 16.7 sin 32 degrees over 9.1. Then to find the angle M, we use the inverse of sin 16.7 sin 32 degrees over 9.1. So the final answer is 76.5 degrees. C. The area of the triangle ABC is 62.89 square centimeters. Show that the angle BAC, this angle, is 28.4 degrees. Correct to 1 decimal place. You know that the area of the triangle can be calculated as 1/2 of AB times AC times sin A. So in this case, the area of the triangle is 62.89 square centimeters. So 1/2 of AB is 12.3 and AC is 21.5 times sin A is equal to 62.89. So sin A is equal to 62.89 divided by 1/2, 12.3, and 21.5. Finally, to find the angle A, we use the inverse of sin of everything. 62.89 divided by 1/2, 12.3, and 21.5. So A is equal to 28.40 degrees. So it is still 28.4, correct to 1 decimal place. Second question, calculate BC. Now we want to find the length of BC. We can use the cos rule for the triangle ABC. BC squared. The cos rule says that BC squared is equal to AB squared plus AC squared minus 2 times AB times AC times cos A. Now we substitute everything. AB is 12.3. AC is 21.5 minus 2 times 12.3 and 21.5 times cos A. You know the angle A is 28.4 degrees. So BC is equal to the square root of everything. Then the answer for BC is 12.2 centimeters. Number 3. AB is extended to a point D such that BDC is 90 degrees. Calculate BD. Now we want to find the length of BD. This one. Now look at the triangle ADC. This is a right angle triangle. In this triangle, we see that AC is the hypotenuse of the angle A, and AD is the adjacent of the angle A. So we can use adjacent over hypotenuse, which means K. We use K for the question number 3. Cos of the angle A equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Cos of A is equal to AD over AC. The angle A is 28.4 degrees and AD includes 12.3 plus BD over AC is 21.5. So we write down this equation and then we solve it to find the length of BD. I'll rewrite it. Cos A is equal to adjacent AD over hypotenuse AC. So cos of 28.4 degrees is equal to 12.3 plus BD over 21.5. So 12.3 plus BD, we cross multiply 21.5 and cos 28.4 degrees. Then to find the length of BD, we subtract both sides. We subtract 12.3 from both sides. So the answer is 6.61 centimeters. Question 8. The diagram shows 2 fair dice. Dice A is numbered 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 6. Dice B is numbered 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. A. 1. Dice A is rolled once. Write down the probability that it lands on the number 6. So you see that in the dice A, there's only one number 6 out of 6 numbers, so the probability is 1 out of 6 numbers. Second question, dice A is rolled 150 times. Find the number of times it is expected to land on the number 6. We know that the probability to get the number 6 is 1/6. And if we roll it 150 times, then we multiply this by 150. So the answer is 25 times. B. Dice A and dice B are each rolled once. Find the probability that the two numbers they land on have a total of 6. To get a total of 6, we may need 2 plus 4 or 3 plus 3. There are only 2 cases. So this one, 2 plus 4 equals 6 or 3 plus 3 equals 6. So we say that we want the probability of getting a 2, then a 4, or the probability of getting a 3 and a 3. 2. In the dice A, 2, there are 3 numbers, 2 out of 6 numbers. In the dice B, there are 3 numbers, 4 out of 6 numbers. Plus, the probability of getting a 3 in the dice A is 1 out of 6. And the probability of getting a 3 in the dice B is 2 out of 6. So we add up these two together, then the answer is 11 over 36. 11 over 36. Number 2. Find the probability that when the two numbers they land on have a total of 6. The two numbers they land on have a total of 6. This is the denominator. Then both numbers are 3. Both numbers are 3. So remember, this one is the denominator. And both numbers are 3. This is the numerator of the probability. So first, let's talk about the numerator. Both numbers are 3, which means 3, 3. This one is 1 out of 6 multiplied by 2 out of 6. So this is 1 over 18. And for the denominator, the two numbers they land on have a total of 6. P of total of 6. This one, we know the answer is 11 over 36 from the previous question. So the probability of this is the numerator divided by the denominator. So this is 1 over 18 divided by 11 over 36. And the answer is 2 over 11. 2 out of 11. Question C. Dice B is rolled n times. Find the probability that on the nth roll, it first lands on the number 3 is 32 over 729. Find the value of n. You know that the numbers on the dice B is 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. So the probability of getting a 3 is 2 out of 6, and the probability of not getting a 3 is 4 out of 6. And we know that on the nth row, it first lands on the number 3. So it means in the previous n minus 1 rows, it does not get at the number 3. So this means for 6 to the power of n minus 1 multiplied by 2, 6 is equal to, the probability is 32 over 729. So for 6 to the power of n minus 1 is equal to 32 over 729 divided by 26. We divide 26 from both sides. So this is 32 over 243. 46 is actually 2/3 to the power of n minus 1 equals 32 over 243. This one is equal to 2 to the power of 5, and 243 is 3 to the power of 5. So this means 2/3 to the power of n minus 1 is equal to 2/3 to the power of 5. So if the base are the same, then the power n minus 1 is equal to 5, and thus n is 5 plus 1 equals 6. 6 is the final answer. Question 9. The diagram shows a sketch of the graph y equals 4x cubed minus x to the power of 4. The graph crosses the x-axis at the origin O and at the point A. The point B is the maximum point. A. Differentiate 4x cubed minus x to the power of 4. So to differentiate this, remember the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared, and the derivative of x to the power of 4 is 4x cubed. So 4 times 3x squared is 12x squared minus 4x cubed. If you want to find the coordinates of B, B is the maximum point. Or we say that B is a turning point. B is a turning point. It means we will let the derivative of the function to be 0. So it is 12x squared minus 4x cubed equals 0. And we factorize this. The common factor is 4x squared. Then we have 3 minus x left. So this one means x can be 0 or 3 minus x equals 0. But you know that at the point B, x should be a positive value. So x cannot be 0. We'll skip this. Then if 3 minus x is 0, then x is equal to 3. And this is true because it is a positive value. And when x equals 3, we'll find the value of y. In that case, y is equal to 4 times, you know that y is 4x cubed minus x to the power of 4. So 4 times 3 cubed minus 3 to the power of 4. Then y is equal to 27. So the coordinates of B is 3, 27. C. Find the gradient of the graph at the point A. You know that A is the intersection of the graph and the x-axis. So A is the intersection of y equals 4x cubed minus x to the power 4, and the x-axis means y equals 0. This is the equation of the x-axis. So I will let y to be 0. 4x cubed minus x to the power of 4 equals 0. And I also factorize this. 4 minus x equals 0. You know that at the point A, the x value should be positive, not 0. So we also skip the first one. X cannot be 0. Then 4 minus x is 0, which means x equals 4. And now to find the gradient of the graph at the point A, we will substitute the value of x equals 4 into 12x squared minus 4x cubed. So it is 12 times 4 squared minus 4 times 4 cubed. This one is negative 64. So negative 64 is the final answer. Question 10. A. ABCDEF is a regular hexagon. DF, DA, and DB are diagonals. Complete the following statements using 3 different triangles. Triangle DEF is congruent to this triangle. DEF is corresponding to DCB. And then then we have 2 more triangles, DFA and DBA. So the second answer is DFA and DBA. They are also 2 congruent triangles. B. P and Q are points on the circle with center O. TP and TQ are tangents to the circle from the point T. Complete the following statement and reasons. In triangle OPT and OQT, OP is equal to OQ because they are the radius. OP is equal to OQ because each is a radius of the circle. Next, OT is the common side. Here it is, OT is the common side of the 2 triangles. Then, angle OPT and angle OQT are 90 degrees because the tangents are perpendicular to the radius. Because tangent is perpendicular to radius. Then, the triangles OPT and OQT are congruent using the criterion. So let's check the criterion. OP equals OQ, that is the side. OT is a common side. This is the hypotenuse of the triangle. And there are 2 right angles, so this is right angle triangle. So we use the criterion right angle hypotenuse side. This proves that the tangents TP and TQ are equal in length. They are equal in length. Question 11. Given the 3 functions f of x, g of x, and h of x, A. Find g of 3. G of 3 means we substitute x equals 3 into the function. 3 minus 1 squared. This is 2 squared equals 4. B. Find f of x minus 2. So we substitute x equals 1 minus 3. Instead of writing x, we'll write x minus 2. And we simplify this. 1 minus 3 times x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. So this one is negative 3x. 1 plus 6 is 7. C. Find the inverse of f of x. We know that f of x means y equals 1 minus 3x. So to find the inverse, we change y to x. And then we change this x to y. And now we need to make y the subject by subtracting 1 from both sides. And then to find the value of y, we need to divide both sides by negative 3. And you can also change it to 1 minus x over 3. So this is the inverse function, 1 minus x over 3. D. Gf of x minus gx times f of x equals 3x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus c. So we should write down f of x and g of x again. F of x is 1 minus 3x and g of x is x minus 1 squared. So first, to find gf of x, we will substitute f into g. In g, instead of writing x, I will write 1 minus 3x, then subtract 1 squared. You know 1 minus 1 is 0, so we only have negative 3x squared, which is 9x squared. And now let's talk about g of x multiplied by f of x. G of x is x minus 1 squared times f of x, which is 1 minus 3x. X minus 1 squared is x squared minus 2x plus 1 multiplied by 1 minus 3x. Now we need to expand this brackets. X squared times 1 minus x squared times 3x is 3x cubed minus 2x times 1 minus 2x times minus 3x is positive 6x squared. 1 times 1 and 1 times negative 3x. So this one, x squared plus 6x squared is 7x squared minus 3x cubed. Negative 2x minus 3x is negative 5x. And then we have positive 1 here. So now let's combine gf of x minus g of x multiplied by f of x. This one is equal to g of f of x is 9x squared minus 7x squared minus 3x cubed minus 5x plus 1. In brackets, remember you need this brackets, otherwise your expression will be wrong. So let's expand the brackets. Then it is 9x squared minus 7x squared plus 3x cubed plus 5x minus 1. 9x squared minus 7x squared is 2x squared plus 3x cubed plus 5x minus 1. And according to the question, this one is equal to ax squared plus 3x cubed plus bx plus c. So a is equal to 2, b is 5, and c is negative 1. E. Find h of x minus f of x. You know h of x is 3 over x, and f of x is 1 minus 3x. And remember to put it in brackets. And now we need to simplify this expression. So 3 of x, let's expand the brackets first, plus 3x. To write it as a single fraction, we need to keep x as the common denominator. For the first one, we just write 3. The second one, negative 1 times x is negative x. And then 3x times x is 3x squared. So this one is equal to 3 minus x plus 3x squared all over x. F, h of x to the power of n is equal to 3 times x to the power of 7. You know h of x is 3 over x. So h of x to the power of n is equal to 3 over x to the power of n. And this one means 3 multiplied by x to the power of negative n. So if h of x to the power of n is equal to 3x to the power of 7, then this means 3x to the power of negative n is equal to 3x to the power of 7. We cancel 3 and 3, x and x. So this means negative n is equal to 7. Then n will be negative 7. So negative 7 is the final answer. Question 12. O is the origin 0, 0. A is the point 8, 1. So this is 8 and this is 1. And B is the point 2, 5. So this is 2 and this is 5. A, write as column vectors OB. Vector OB is the vector 2, 5. Because the coordinates of B is 2, 5, so the position vector of B is also 2, 5. Then find the vector AB. This one is equal to XB minus XA, YB minus YA. XB is 2, XA is 8, YB is 5, and YA is 1. 2 minus 8 is negative 6, 5 minus 1 is 4. B. Find the equation of the line AB. Give your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. So to find the equation of the line AB, we need to find the gradient of AB first. This one is equal to the difference in y over difference in x. YB minus YA over XB minus X8. So this is 4 over negative 6, which is negative 2/3. And the line AB should passes through, you can say that it passed through the point A or B. In this case, I will choose the point B. B, 2, 5. So we will substitute everything into y equals mx plus c. In the coordinates of B is 2, 5. So y equals 5, x equals 2, and the gradient is negative 2/3 plus c. So to find the value of c, we add 2/3 times 2 to both sides. So this is 5 plus 4/3 equals 19/3. So the equation is y equals mx plus c. M is negative 2/3 and c is 19 over 3. So the answer is negative 2/3 of x plus 19 over 3. C. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. When you see perpendicular bisector, you need to remember two things. First, it is perpendicular to the line AB. And if it is perpendicular to the line AB, then the gradient of this bisector multiplied by the gradient of AB should be negative 1. And the second thing is that it passes through the midpoint of AB. Midpoint of AB. So let's solve the first one. If the gradient of the perpendicular bisector multiplied by the gradient of AB equals negative 1. And from the previous question, you know the gradient of AB is negative 2 over 3. So the gradient of this line is negative 1 divided by, I'll divide both sides by negative 2/3. So it's gonna be 3 over 2. Or we can write 1.5. Next, let's talk about the midpoint. The midpoint of AB. The coordinates of the midpoint will be the average of XA and XB, and also the average of YA and YB. You know that XA is 8, YB, XA is 8, XB is 2 over 2, and YA is 1, YB is 5 over 2. So the midpoint is 8 plus 2 over 2 is 5. And 1 plus 5 over 2 is 3. So this is the midpoint of AB. Now we will need to write down the equation y equals mx plus c. In this case, y is 3, x is 5, m is 1.5 plus c. So to find the value of c, we subtract 1.5 times 5 from both sides. So the answer is negative 4.5. And now you see that the gradient is 1.5 and the y-intercept is negative 4.5. So the answer is y equals 1.5x minus 4.5. D. The line AB meets the y-axis at P. The perpendicular bisector of AB meets the y-axis at Q. Find the length of PQ. First of all, the line AB has an equation of y equals negative 2/3 of x plus 19 over 3. And the equation of the y-axis is x equals 0. So if we substitute x equals 0 into this, then we will get x equals 0 and y equals 19 over 3. So this means the point P is 0, 19 over 3. And then the perpendicular bisector of AB is y equals 1.5x minus 4.5. And similarly, the y-axis is still x equals 0. So we substitute x equals 0 into this, then x is 0 and y is negative 4.5. So the point Q is 0, negative 4.5. Now we want to find the length of PQ. So we use the formula xq minus xp squared plus yq minus yp squared. So let's substitute. Xq and xp are both 0. So 0 minus 0 squared plus yq is negative 4.5 minus yp. Yp is 19 over 3 squared. So this one is equal to 65 over 6, which is 10.8. So 10.8 is the final answer. This is the end of the test.